good afternoon. I've got my very own Alavi and Katio with me this afternoon, and what we're going to hope to do is be able to answer some questions you might have about studying A-level economics at Cheney School. Okay, so my name is Mr. Buchanan. I am one of the subject teachers of economics at Cheney School. Katya and Alavi are two of my students who are currently in year 12. So my first question to the two of you, if you don't mind, is, did the course meet your expectations? What's it like being on the course? Do you think your expectations have been met?
Me or Katya?
I don't mind. Whoever would like to go first. Why don't you go first this time, Alavi?
So I would say no, the course hasn't met my expectations. But I would like to say that it's surpassed my expectations because it's taught me so many new things that I've never learnt before, and like so many things that I wasn't expecting, because I was typically expecting maths, like just maths pretty much, but it's taught me so many new things about the world and so many different sorts of things that I never expected. So I would say it surpassed my expectations rather than met them.
Alavi, that's a very kind thing to say. Katya, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I agree with Alavi. It reached my expectations. It also surpassed them because it's just full of challenges every single time we're in the classroom and learning about economics. So yeah.
Oh, I like that. All right, thank you. Well, I'm glad you find it challenging. Tells me I'm doing something right. What else are you studying alongside economics, and what are your thoughts about the combination? So I'll start with you, Katya. What other subjects are you learning?
Well, I'm studying economics, politics, and sociology. So I was thinking politics and economics, they probably go well like together, better than like sociology and economics or whatever. So I just think like learning about like society as well as like the economy and the politics, I feel like it will help me as a person just learn more about like the UK basically. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So you find that they complement each other well. What about you, Alavi?
For me, I would say that I study alongside economics, maths, and further maths, and I feel like all of those subjects all complement each other like really well. And because of that, it's like butter and jam that goes on bread. Like it all goes together. Like the maths works with the further maths, and the further maths works with the maths, and then the economics is there with the maths, but then it's also teaching me so many extra things that I like never knew before, and that are not really they're not really related to maths, but they're related to the like to your worldly life.
Thank you very much. That was very informative. Thank you. Okay, quick question then. Why did you choose to study this subject? I'm going to start with you this time, Alavi.
I chose to study this subject because like mainly because of the maths. Because personally, I love maths. That's why you can see by my subjects, I have maths, further maths, and economics. So that was the primary reason why I chose economics. But then, like, now it's like, why would I choose it for just the maths? Because I could have, like, the other reason that I could have chose it was for the amount of things that you learn about the world, about the government, about literally how the whole world runs and how it relies upon economics. So, yeah.
Thank you. And what about you, Katya?
Oh, well, I chose economics because, like, as Alavi said, it just gives you an insight into the world, into the economy, and I just find that really like fascinating.
I think it's really interesting how you two have got really different choices of subjects that you're doing alongside, and yet you both get something really good out of economics. I'm kind of really delighted at that. What are your favourite topics, Katya?
Well, mine is unemployment. Although we just started it, I'm finding it really interesting, and like teaching myself about it as well as getting taught by you is like challenging. That's the whole part of A levels, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, how about you, Alavi? Which parts are you finding to be your favourite? I know you're going
My
to say something
favorite topic,
related.
yeah, it is going to be mass related. It's the elasticities of demand, because in the elasticities of demand, it literally had so many formulas, so many mathematical formulas, which was so interesting for me because like it's like just remember a formula, put it down, plug everything in, and you just get an answer. That's literally what I loved about it. And it was just like quick, straightforward, and easy to remember.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. What makes this subject special or interesting? Let's start with you this time, Alavi.
For me, I wouldn't even say it's the maths. I would say it's the amount of new things that I've been learning, because like some of the things I'm learning I haven't ever thought about before and never gave any importance to in my life. But like now, because of economics, I'm learning so much about how governments run, how the world runs, how it literally relies upon economics. Because without economics, we won't have a functional society. Like that's being like just real. And like that's what makes it so interesting. Like I would never have thought that I would have liked it if it had something other than maths. But then it's so interesting that you can't not like it. You have to.
And what about you, Katio? What about you? What makes this
Well,
subject?
I think this subject is very special because like it just feels like there's just an endless amount of topics to learn on, and like every single one of them is interesting. There's not one where I'll just sit there and just think, oh, this is boring, man. Just get me out of this class. I'm just I'll involve myself in every single topic because they're all just really interesting.
Okay, thank you very much. If someone was to ask you tomorrow, why should I study economics? What would you tell them, Katio?
Well, I'll tell them you should study economics because, of course, it's going to help you in the future when you're making bread, when you're making money, when you need to pay your taxes. Maybe you won't understand where your taxes are going, and economics will help you with that as well as understanding everything about the economy.
Mm.
And what about you, Alavi? What would you tell someone?
I would say I would tell them to study economics because like if that person's a mathsy person, 100%, like no brainer. But then even for people who just want to learn something new, who wants to get into something, economics is a great subject because it gives you so many insights into things like you would not have known about before. Like believe me, you probably would not know of it before unless you did like GCSE economics, but that's a different story. But like even the additional A level subjects and topics that we learn in economics, it's so like insightful and learn so many new things, which is just like it's amazing. So that's why I would say that you should learn it.
Thank you. How does the teacher style or teaching style compare to GCSE? What do you reckon, Alavi?
Well, what I would say is that the teaching, like, so I have two teachers for economics. I have Mr. Buchanan, as you can see here, and then I also have Mr. Palmer. And I feel like they're excellent teachers because they do have two different teaching styles, but I would say each teaching styles are so good and they're so effective. Like, I don't remember one class where I didn't go out of it thinking that, what's this topic? I would need to like try and teach it to myself. But then because the teaching's so good, I don't really need to. All I need to do is just normal revision, which like everyone should do. And like com in comparison to GCSEs, I feel like the teaching in A levels, it's like it's so much like a bit more like one to one because the classes are smaller and you get so much more information and you learn so much more and it's like easier learning. Like sometimes it would feel laid back, but it's not. It's because the teaching is so effective and good in A levels that that's how you feel like it is in A levels.
Alavi, your words are very kind. What about you, Katio? Any comments you want to make about this question?
I strongly agree with Alavi what he said. I feel like what he said about the GCSEs, it's more like wherever you do your work, GCSEs, the teacher obviously cares for you, or she or he cares for you, but it's more you do your work. You've got what 8, 10 lessons that you have to do GCSEs. But with A levels, you have 3 or 4, or maybe even 2 if you've dropped one. But it's more the teacher is like helping you. It's one to one. Of course, like you said, the classes are much smaller. Like in GCSEs, you have what 25 to 30 people in the class. Now we only have like 14. So there's a lot more time for the teacher to help each other, help the students with what they don't understand and everything. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much for that. Right, lads, I'm going to say thank you very, very much for your time this afternoon. It was really kind of you to give up your time in order to help me record this. Okay. And I look forward to our next lesson.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye.